Caitlin Clark just landed another incredible endorsement. This time it's with Stanley Cups.
Caitlin Clark just broke the internet again, and this time it wasn't with a step-back three or another no-look dime. It was with Stanley. Yep, the same cup brand your mum, your aunt, and every college kid refuses to leave the house without. Just seeing sales skyrocket the second Clark's partnership dropped. She's not even on the court right now, and she's still moving culture like it's a fast break. That's the definition of star power. Think about it. Clark didn't just sign an endorsement deal, she attached her name to a cultural obsession. Stanley Cups already had insane momentum. People camp out at Target for pastel drops, resale prices climb like they're Yeezys, and owning one basically became a personality trait. Now you add Caitlin Clark, the most marketable athlete in women's sports, and boom, the whole thing goes nuclear. These aren't jerseys, these aren't sneakers. Clark is selling lifestyle now. She's selling hydration as a status symbol. And fans, they're buying every ounce of it. So here's the question. Is Caitlin Clark's Stanley deal actually bigger than some of her basketball milestones? Because off the court, she's already redefining what it means to be an athlete in 2025. The photo shoot dropped and the internet didn't stand a chance. Caitlin Clark, rocking fever-colored Stanleys, Nike sweats, and that smile like she already knew she was about to set social media on fire. And instantly, boom, TikToks flying, screenshots everywhere, resale chats lighting up before the cups were even live. That's not just hype, and that's market domination. But let's be clear, this is bigger than Clark just moving cups. This is her stepping outside of basketball and flexing in lifestyle culture. Think about her deals: Gatorade, Sports, Wilson, Sports, Nike, Sports and Fashion. But Stanley, that's mainstream, that's moms, college kids, office workers, people who don't even watch the WNBA, but will drop cash on Caitlin Clark Stanley because it's cool. That's what crossover power looks like. And of course the haters showed up with the same tired lines. Why is she getting all these deals? It's just a cup. But here's the problem for them. Receipts don't lie. Stores are selling out. Online resellers are flipping them like sneakers. The only thing that changed is Caitlin Clark's face being attached. You can yell overhyped all day, but the numbers tell a different story.
Still at will maintaining to land deals is, legendary. And not to mention, she still got to deal with Gatorade as well. So for her to land this Stanley deal is just, I know a lot of people talk about her agent not being there for her agent doing all these things. I got to give it to her agent, bro. Now, granted, would Caitlin Clark be getting these deals if she didn't have her agent? Probably. But she still got to give some, we still got to give some credit to the agent. This is a nice cup here. I don't think I ever seen one like that. This is legendary right here. And Caitlin looks super happy to have this deal as well.
Let's talk numbers, because this isn't just vibes. It's receipts. Stanley was already pulling in billions every year. But the second Clark's collab teasers hit, traffic on their site spiked double digits. Pre-orders went wild. Some stores couldn't even keep regular Stanleys on shelves because fans thought her drop would be limited too, and didn't want to miss out. That's not normal demand. That's the Taylor Swift effect. Everything connected to Caitlin Clark instantly turns into a frenzy. Now imagine being one of those critics who swore she was just hype, and then having to watch her sell out water bottles faster than some NBA players move sneakers. It's a comedy at this point. People keep betting against her, and every time she proves she's not just an athlete, she's a movement. And credit to Stanley, this wasn't lazy marketing. They didn't just slap CC on a cup and call it a day. They gave her a collection. 5 different models: the jug, the tumbler, the water bottle, the classic, and a travel-ready version. And the colors: fever red, deep navy, Iowa gold, even a clean gray, basically mapping her whole career in Pantone shades. Fans weren't grabbing just one. They were buying all 5 to collect like trading cards. That's not an endorsement. That's a full-on cultural rollout. Caitlin Clark just pulled off another headline grab, and this time it wasn't with a step-back three or a no-look dime. It was with a cup. Yep, a Stanley Cup. The same brand your mom, your aunt, and every college kid on TikTok is obsessed with just teamed up with Clark, and the result was instant chaos. Sales exploded, social media lit up, and people who don't even watch basketball suddenly knew exactly who Caitlin Clark was. Here's why this matters. Athlete endorsements aren't new. We've seen players sign with Nike, Gatorade, Reebok, you name it. But Clark's Stanley deal isn't just another collab, it's a cultural crossover. Sneakers? That's predictable. Gatorade? Makes sense. Wilson basketballs? Of course. But water cups? That's mainstream. That's moms packing lunches, college students sitting in lectures, office workers sipping at their desks. That's not just the WNBA audience. That's everybody. And the rollout was genius. The photos dropped of Clark holding those Stanley cups in fever colors, rocking Nike sweats, laughing like it was just another day. No stiffness, no awkwardness, just natural. Some athletes look out of place in lifestyle ads. Not Clark. She fits. That's why brands keep lining up. She's relatable enough for the casual buyer, but iconic enough to spark frenzy. The fact that she looked comfortable selling $40 drinkware is exactly why this worked. And here's the kicker. She did all this while injured. Think about that. She hasn't even been on the court for half the season, and her endorsement machine hasn't slowed down one bit. Most athletes need highlights to stay relevant. Clark just needs a press release and a photo shoot. That's brand strength. That's proof she's bigger than the box score. Now let's compare. Other WNBA stars have solid endorsement deals too. Aja Wilson has her Nike shoe. Sabrina Ionescu has her line. Angel Reese signed with Reebok. All good moves, no doubt. But here's the difference. Are they moving lifestyle products at this scale? Are soccer mums in Iowa, accountants in Boston, and students in California lining up to buy their branded gear? Not really. Clark has entered a different lane, and she owns it. And let's talk about the so-called scam critics. People say, why would you spend $40 or $60 on a cup? But the same people drop $100 on candles or $200 on sneakers without blinking. The reality is, these cups aren't just cups anymore, they're pieces of Clark's story. Fans see value because they're buying into her journey, her influence, her brand. That's why resale groups were buzzing before her cups even hit shelves. Fans weren't buying just one. They were collecting all 5 models like they were trading cards. And Stanley knew what they were doing. This wasn't lazy marketing. They didn't just slap her initials on a tumbler. They gave her a full collection. The jug, the tumbler, the water bottle, the classic, and even a travel-ready version. The colors: fever red, deep navy, Iowa gold, clean gray. Basically, her whole career was mapped in Pantone. That's not an endorsement. That's a full rollout. Here's the bigger picture. This deal just flipped the endorsement game on its head. For years, sneakers have been the gold standard. If you had a signature shoe, you were officially big time. Clark just proved you don't need sneakers to spark frenzy. She made cups the new must-have. The resale forums that usually obsess over Jordans or Yeezys were suddenly buzzing about which Clark Stanley colorway they landed. That's sneaker culture energy redirected toward drinkware. Absurd, yes. Profitable, absolutely. And that's the whole point. Caitlin Clark isn't just another athlete endorsing a product. She's redefining what an athlete endorsement even is. She's showing that influence doesn't have to stay in the sports lane. It can move into lifestyle, culture, and everyday products. Today, it's cups. Tomorrow, it could be furniture, fashion, even tech collabs. The ceiling isn't basketball anymore. The ceiling is wherever Caitlin Clark wants to take it. So let's be clear. Caitlin Clark's Stanley partnership isn't just about hydration. It's about evolution. It's about proving she's bigger than the WNBA, bigger than basketball. She's a cultural icon now, someone who can move products without even playing. And the haters can scream overhyped all they want, but the receipts are in. The cup sold out. The hype was real. And Caitlin Clark just showed again why she's different. Caitlin Clark's Stanley deal is more than a cup collab. It's a masterclass in how athletes step outside the court and into lifestyle spaces, where their fan base already lives. Not everyone needs a pair of basketball shoes to feel connected, but everyone needs a water bottle, Clark and Stanley figured that out, and the numbers prove it was genius. Of course, the haters showed up right. On cue, their argument goes like this: she's selling cups, not winning championships, as if endorsements and performance are mutually exclusive. Yes, Clark is injured, but her deals keep rolling in. That's not a weakness, that's a strength. It proves she's transcended the box score. Staying this relevant while sidelined only shows how powerful her brand really is. And let's be honest, if another WNBA player had landed this deal, those same critics would be calling it groundbreaking. But because it's Clark, suddenly it's just a cup. That double standard says more about the critics than it does about her. They don't like that she dominates every conversation, every headline, every product launch. Too bad. The market has spoken. From a business standpoint, this deal is a blueprint. Stanley didn't sign Clark out of charity. They signed her because she moves markets. They saw her sell out arenas, spike TV ratings, and flood online traffic with every appearance. They knew attaching her name would move the product. And now that it has, you can bet other lifestyle brands are watching closely. This is the start of a bigger wave. Picture Caitlin Clark cookware, Caitlin Clark home decor, Caitlin Clark tech accessories. If Stanley can break sales records with cups, you think Target wouldn't jump at a Clark-branded furniture line? You think Apple wouldn't want her in an ad selling iPads to Gen Z and millennial fans? This deal sets the precedent. Clark isn't just an athlete, she's an all-category influencer, and the receipts keep stacking up. Let's check her portfolio. Nike? Check. Wilson? Check. Gatorade? Check. Panini? Check. Stanley? Check. That's 5 industries she's dominating: footwear, sports equipment, beverages, collectibles, and lifestyle. Most athletes would be lucky to lock down 2 of those. Clark has 5, and she's only in her 2nd year as a pro. Let that sink in. The WNBA benefits too, whether they admit it or not. Every time Clark trends, so do the Fever and the league. When she sells out Stanley Cups, it's not just a personal win, it's a spotlight on women's basketball. That's why networks keep boosting coverage and sponsors keep upping investments. Clark makes the league a mainstream conversation, plain and simple. Sure, not everyone in the league loves that. Some players feel overlooked when Clark gets all the attention. That's understandable. But deals like this prove why she's in her own lane. It's not favoritism, it's economics. The demand is there and Clark delivers. Bottom line, Caitlin Clark's Stanley partnership isn't about cups. It's about cultural influence, market power, and rewriting the playbook for what athlete endorsements can be. Brands don't invest in hype, they invest in whoever moves the market. And right now, that's Caitlin Clark. Unless someone else starts selling cups by the truckload, that fact won't change anytime soon. Let's look at why this partnership worked so perfectly. Stanley's biggest customer base has always been suburban moms and college students. Now think about Clark's audience: moms who followed her Iowa run, students who wear her jerseys, families filling Fever games. That's the same demographic, already obsessed with Stanley. This wasn't some random collaboration, it was a targeted strategic overlap, and the results prove it. The numbers were instant. Stanley's website saw traffic spikes as soon as Clark's line launched. Retailers reported shortages within hours. Online pre-orders maxed out faster than expected, and resale markets were immediately flooded with listings marked up 2 and 3 times retail. That doesn't happen with just any endorsement. That only happens when demand is so overwhelming that supply never stood a chance. And let's be clear, that demand is being driven by one name: Caitlin Clark. The long-term impact here is even bigger. This deal shows Clark is building a brand that doesn't rely on basketball's seasonal rhythm. The WNBA has an off-season. Endorsements don't. With Stanley, Clark's influence now lives in kitchens, gyms, classrooms, and offices year-round. Fans don't just cheer for her when she drops 30 points. They drink from her cup every single day. That's permanent. Brand integration, and it's genius. And here's the kicker, she's nowhere near done. If her signature shoe lands in 2026 the way everyone expects, it's set to be a global phenomenon. Stack more lifestyle deals on top of that, and we're talking about an athlete who could realistically reach billionaire status by the end of her career. Sounds bold? Maybe. But the trajectory already points in that direction. Stanley is just one more receipt proving it. The irony in all this is how critics keep moving the goalposts. First it was she won't sell out arenas. Then she did. Next it was she won't land big endorsements. Now she has more than anyone else in the league. Then it was she can't sell lifestyle products. Well, here we are. And when that excuse collapses too, they'll invent another. Because the haters don't want to admit the truth. Clark is in a lane of her own. So let's wrap it up. This deal isn't just about cups, it's about dominance. It proves Clark's influence extends far beyond basketball. It proves she can move products across industries. It proves the WNBA's future is directly tied to her success. And most importantly, it proves the haters are out of excuses. The receipts are there, the sellouts are real. Caitlin Clark turned her $40 a water cup into a cultural craze. She's not just an athlete anymore. She's a powerhouse turning everyday products into gold. The numbers don't lie.